The weekends were, it seemed kind of weird that being in that career I was so passionate about, it turned into a bit of a prison, a bit of a jail, right? And so I started to look for things that were that I could do differently.
A
And
little more
so
free.
luckily, yeah, yeah. So I wasn't free, and so it was very strange to have that feeling, to be in that career that you've always wanted to be in, and then end up hating it, and
Yeah.
end up and trying to escape. I was just working for retirement, and I got to midlife crisis, and I decided that I wanted to do something at 42. Luckily, I had a near-death injury, near-death experience that kind of uh, forced that situation and that mind shift. But
Awakening.
yeah, that awakening, and so that's what it took for me to um, make the shift, the mind shift. But
Sure.
I think there's a lot of people out there kind of struggling with what they're doing and their purpose and their why. Um, you know,
Sam, can I ask you something just along
yeah,
these lines? You said something that I think really clicked with me, and I don't know if everybody caught it, but you said, luckily,
yeah,
you have brain injury.
yeah,
Explain that, because I hear people all the time saying exactly what you are saying about where you were. They're stuck. They're in the hamster wheel. They're not going anywhere. And then you say, luckily, you had a brain injury. Please indulge us on that, because there's obviously a level of gratitude from what you've gone through and what's transpired. That's got to be pretty profound.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think I think life teaches us from the day we're born, but somehow we become closed off to the life lessons, and um, I wasn't I knew I wasn't happy. I knew I wasn't fulfilled. I knew I had no passion for my career. I was kind of going through the motions of 9 to 5, and I'd show up. I'd had a pretty nice job, right? So I managed the laboratory. I didn't have to go in during rush hour, so I went in like at 9:30. I stayed till 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and just to avoid the traffic. I had that
Right.
luxury, but it wasn't a good existence in my mind. It was me trying to escape something. And I just kind of saw that as the next 20 years of the Truman Show type thing, just like the
Right.
Truman. And so, luckily, that's why I say, luckily, something came along and shifted that and woke me up. And so, at the time, I didn't realize it was lucky, but looking back now, um, that was a life lesson. That was a lesson that I was open to, and luckily, my company decided to do layoff um, about 2 months after my fall, my injury, and so they offered me a position down in I don't know how probably about 40 people got job offers out of 1,000 to go down to California and help them set up a new research facility in Oyster Point, South San Francisco. And I went down there, took my family down there, kind of looked around. Real estate was too expensive. Plus, I had it in the back of my mind. I didn't want to follow this company around because who knows, I might be in San Francisco and laid off a few years later.
Right.
Big mortgage. And so I turned down their offer. And I was the only person out of 40, and everyone thought I was nuts. But everyone that went down there, about 18 months later, they all got laid off. The whole department got shut down. So I don't know, so now I got friends moving back here to the States and buying another house again. So they're resetting their mortgage clock, and so everyone has a mortgage and everyone's working for something, but no one's really free. So I'm
Amen.
doing what I'm doing, and it just, I feel blessed to be, that's why I look at it now from my perspective, that it's been a blessing because it all started with that near death injury, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about something, Sam. Because you mentioned that you you wanted to get into the medical industry with that. You went through training, obviously, to learn what you were doing. Um, you know, you're the first cancer research scientist guy that I've ever met personally, you know, and so my curiosity is, so you're in the lab and you're doing whatever research scientists do, and so beyond the time of like having to be there, having to fight traffic in the morning, having to wait, you know, stay late so you don't have to deal with traffic in the evening, beyond the 9 to 5 grind, what was it like in the lab and with the results and things like that you were seeing? That, you know, was that part of it fulfilling to you, or was that kind of something that was bothering you as well, that you're just like, wow, was it like I'm working this dead end thing that's going nowhere, or was it more of today's the day I'm going to find the cure, today's the day I'm going to find the cure, or that? Was there any of that kind of stuff? Or, you know, what's your mentality when you're in there working with test tubes and looking through microscopes, or, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, because you know, my daily routine would be show up at the lab. We got some helicopters taking off on their tours of the island there. See the helicopter?
See them.
Yeah. So there's a heliport right over here that they do all these island tours, these volcano tours from.
Super cool.
But I was in the lab, and every day I'd go in and I'd work with my staff in starting up the machines that ran all the blood samples, get the quality controls run, get everything QC'd out, and then we'd wait for the samples to come, the research samples. So they would bring us test tubes of research blood, you know, and they would do studies required by the FDA on research, usually genetically altered mice and things like that, that were prone to getting different types of cancer, different types of diseases. And then I would test that blood for variances in their blood work, whether it be liver enzymes or hematology or coagulation. And so I kept on doing that. And so, you know, after a while, you kind of get a flavor for what these studies are about and what we're actually having an impact. And we screen about 10,000 to 15,000 compounds, drugs, to find the one that is safe enough and that has enough efficacy to end up on TV. Right?
With all the same disclaimers?
Yes. And that one is the best one that they can find. Wow. And then you don't hear about the 10,000 that failed. Right? So I'm sitting there thinking in my mind, wow, that's the best we can do? That's the absolute best we can do? And so I started to wonder if there was a better way, because we're spending a lot of money. You know, I used to be paid, you know, over 6 figures doing what I did, and you know, the company had thousands of people. I think Amgen itself at one point had 25,000 employees. You know, so if you figure, you know, the average income maybe 100 grand, do the math. That's a lot of salary, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy.
And you just don't feel like you were getting anywhere.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was strange to be in that position, make that kind of money, and not feel the passion. You know, and so that was very strange. You know, and my friends were wondering why I wasn't happy, why I wasn't fulfilled. It's good money, but then at the same time, I was just like, no, there's got to be it. I kind of figured out where my money was coming from. You know, so if you work at a casino,
it was literal blood money.
Yeah. If you work at a casino dealing cards, right? Who's paying your salary? All the gamblers. Right? All the gamblers, right? if you work at a pharmaceutical research company, who's paying your salary? Or buying the pills?
The customers. I mean,
the customers, right? And so so this is, I'm not saying anything bad about pharmaceutical research, because we need it, but at the same time, we need solutions more than just,
Band-Aids.
We need results, right?
Yeah.
My mechanic, if I use him, he's going to make a salary, and I end up paying part of his annual income, right? But he has to deliver.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was a part of a system that wasn't delivering.
Wow.
Sam, that all brings an interesting question to my mind that stems from a book I read a long, long time ago that changed my life. 26 years ago, almost exactly 26 years ago, I read a book called World Without Cancer.
Yep.
And in that book, Ed Griffin documents a researcher, kind of like yourself. His last name was Segura, I believe. He's a Japanese scientist that Sloan Kettering was having test Laetrile. And he did his first test, and he came back, and the results were like this. He said, in all my years of cancer research, I have never seen a more promising therapy. The cancer cells were dying like flies. And Sloan Kettering said, wow, that's amazing, incredible, awesome, do it again, decrease the dosage. So he did, same results. Awesome, incredible, do it again, decrease the dosage. Do it again, decrease the dosage. Do it again, decrease the dosage. They kept doing that over and over and over and over again, one successful test after another, after another, after another. Finally, he had reduced the dosage down low enough that he got a negative result. And that was the result that went out. That's the one that was put out there for the National Cancer Institute, for the Lancet, for the, all the different medical journals and all that. It was, no, it's a scam. It doesn't work. See, here's the results. And I'm curious to know whether you ever ran into anything like that in your work. Did you ever have them do that kind of thing like Mr. Segura?
No, I didn't, because we're not privy to that, right? Because we're deep into our specialty. I worked in clinical pathology. I ran the laboratory. I saw the numbers, but you kind of have to zoom out on a big level, on a high level, to see those, which one is going to be published. And all I knew was all these samples coming in. So if you look at something like the, back in the 40s, they had the early 40s, they had the Manhattan Project, right? Where they built the atomic bomb. Now, did everyone know that they were building an atomic bomb? No.
Probably.
No one knew what they were building. They're all cogs in this wheel, in this system, and they're doing their particular research, whether it was into the nuclear reaction, it was into the aerodynamics of the bomb, or whatever component that they were doing. But no one had this big grand vision, other than the military, other than the system of what the big project was about. And so, no, I didn't have any information like that was like a red flag. And I think most of us don't, until we zoom out. It only came to me later, looking at the system, and even now looking at what we have. So, so I didn't have anything like that, but I'm sure it exists, because there's so much money being made in not curing anything and treating it and addressing symptoms of it. And meanwhile, in other countries, people are writing papers about things that work in Japan and in Australia and other countries, right down in Mexico. And so there's definitely a bias towards industry in our country. There's a bias towards the system, what's in place,
Yeah, chasing the almighty dollar.
That's right. So we were talking about solutions, in the essence of your doing your digging. Indulge us with maybe some of the solutions you've come to. I mean, obviously we're all kind of on the same page in terms of Kong's water, but you got such an insightful way of communicating and helping people understand that. I think something like this is really going to be revealing for people that
Yeah.
are in that rat race, in the
Yeah.
hamster wheel, spinning around, whether they're in textiles, whether they're working at a cell phone store. That just doesn't matter. People are sick of what they're dealing with. And, you talked about solutions a little bit. Maybe touch base on some of that.
Yeah. So the solution.
Because you're the one in Hawaii working on your tan, you sexy
Yeah.
bastard.
So
God bless you.
the solution. Well, I guess like you kind of have to look at life as you start with the end in mind, right? And so, what's the end of life going to be? The end of life, hopefully, is going to be you've lived your years well. You spent your time helping the people that you want to help, and you created something that you could leave for your children, and hopefully, you had fun doing it.
Right.
That's the end story, right? That's the ending. That's the happy ending. So if you reverse engineer that happy ending, right, and then you work backwards. Okay, so what is it that I want to spend my time doing? Where do I want to be? Who do I want to work with? And then what do I want to? Because I look at life and I say, um, the planet's not going to stop spinning if I die.
Well, you
When
already went through that.
the planet's still going to spin. You could be you could be a billionaire. You could be Paul Allen. You could be Steve Jobs, right? Like really influential, big name people, right? Made a mark on humanity. But the planet still goes around. People still have to get up and go to work in the next morning. No one, they might have a memorial. People might light a few candles in your honor, but ultimately, that life's going to go on. So I realize that I'm not that big of a person. I'm not that significant. So therefore, I'm really small. So therefore, I can do anything I want. And so I started to lifestyle design, right? Like all the palm trees. And I just said, you know what, this is what I want to do. Screw people who squash our dreams, right? And I just said,
Right.
at the end of the day, at the end of my life, my family is going to matter most to me. And so whose approval do I need to work on something for my family?
Right.
And that's how you approach it. So the solution is to find out what you want to have, find out what you want to create, and figure out that goal that you want, and then take any means to get there. Legal, of course. Don't get locked up, because if you get locked up, then you can't work on your goal. But
Yeah.
but find that goal that you
Well,
want, that destination that you want, and then work on it. And hopefully, you find something that makes you feel good while you're doing it too, because then you could last. Because if you don't last at what you're doing, then you're going to have to start over something new. You know, and and I tell people that if you hate starting over, stop quitting,
Right.
right? And if you're quitting, then maybe
pretty simple.
maybe your heart wasn't in it. So find something that involves your heart, not just your mind, but involves your heart. You know, so that's a solution, I think.
Yeah.
But who am I? Like I'm
So
just a dude just living my life. So that's just my opinion.
we're just afraid to stand on the beach, man. I love how you said we're
Yeah,
small.
yeah,
We all get into a certain sense of self-importance for some reason or other. We want to feel valued and stuff, but again, we often find ourselves, just trapped, going through the motions.
yeah.
Before your injury, obviously, I mean, I hate to, lead the question so much, but going through your injury, did that have a lot to do with your transition? Did you just come out of that scene going, okay, wait a sec, what the heck have I been doing? And this is where I want to go. Is that really what spurred your,
No, no,
put out of
no.
the act?
So I'm very analytical, right? So I really analyze things, and so I wrote down on a piece of paper. I'm making six figures. I got a beautiful wife, wonderful kids. Immigrant from Vietnam, and then living the American dream. Right, I got a beautiful house in the suburbs, and working cancer research at the world's biggest biotech company, with stock options, and basically buy anything I want. But then I said, well, so why am I still not happy? Why am I still not fulfilled? Why am I still looking for something? There's this yearning to create something, right? There's this yearning to build something. And so I said, why do I still have that feeling? Because on paper, everything's great.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to read a lot about Zen meditation. I started to practice meditation. I read about Zen, Buddhism, Christianity, all sorts of different religions. And they all kind of told me that, inside is where you'll find the happiness. You find it inside you. It's not outside. And so when I realized that, I took a deep dive inside as to what made me happy. And then luckily, the near-death experience and experiencing heaven kind of confirmed to me that, in the end, you're just going to have your spirit. You're not going to have any material thing. There's no bank accounts in heaven. There's no luggage. There's no body in heaven. And so it just confirmed all these things I was reading about and all these religious, all these books that are time tested, right? And so I just came to the realization, I gotta do this. I mean, what other confirmation am I waiting for? Right?
Right.
So I'm curious about something, Sam, that so you've been doing this cancer research stuff, and you're obviously trying to make a difference in doing that.
Yeah.
I think everybody that goes into that field, they're doing it because they want to change the world. They want to change humanity. They want to solve the problem, whatever. So once you had your accident and you came back and you decided that you needed to do something different, why Kong's water? Why Enagic? Why KONGen water? Why did that get the nod over all the hundreds of thousands of other things out there that people could do to, maybe benefit themselves in the world?
Yeah. So, there's a few things that we need to understand at a fundamental level about health and life, right? There are only two things that cure in the world. KONGen doesn't cure anything in the world, right?
Right.
One thing that cures something is your immune system. Your body's ability to adapt and overcome, and respond to challenges. That your immune system is what cures. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is Mother Nature. You could have like Chernobyl, like a nuclear event, and then you give it enough time, Mother Nature will come around and she'll get rid of the radioactive fallout, and all the animals will come back. And you look at the volcano up in Mount St. Helens up in Washington. When it happened back in the 80s, they thought it'd take 100 years for everything to come back, and like 20 years later, they've got like deer and they got like bushes and stuff coming back already, right? And so little critters and things. So we need to understand that there's only two things that cure: our immune system and Mother Nature. And to build ourselves, our body, you need a variety of things. You need nutrition, you need water, and energy at the very minimum, right?
Yeah.
And oxygen.
Right.
Right. And so I want to be associated with something with those four things. And the nutrition, yeah, it's nutrition. You should use your color vision. You should go pick out the things that Mother Nature give you. The water, get it as pure as possible. Go get it from the top of the mountain somewhere. But unfortunately, I don't want to go hike up mountains just to carry water down every day. So I'd rather just get it from my KONGen machine, right? And energy, it's got energy in there too. But I find out more and more food has energy, calories, but it doesn't have nutrition. So it's very contaminated, polluted with chemicals, pharmaceutical, not pharmaceutical, but pesticides, herbicides. And so we've got to return to origin. We need to return to the basics. And so that's why I associated myself with this. So I've been approached so many times about selling pills and lotions and potions and, you know, supplements.
Oils.
This, and that. Well, you know, we need that stuff, obviously.
Yep.
You know, I do take supplements. I do take some nutrients, right? Because I find out that when I travel, I don't eat so well. You know, so we need those things. But I'm going to be doing KONGen for the rest of my life because scientifically it works.
Yeah.
It's been time tested. You know, so that's why I associate myself with this particular project and this particular company and mission.
And so you've been able to, well, obviously you've been able to transform your life with, you know, utilizing the tool that is KONGen water. And, you know, so why don't you kind of tell people what, because those of us that see you on Facebook, we see you in a different city every freaking day. You know, you're always going here, going there. You know, it's freaking awesome. All the cool stuff that you're always putting up, all the incredible value that you're giving out there to help us all. How has that made, you know, tell people what the difference has been for you personally. You know, like you went from the grind of I can't believe it's Monday morning again to where you are now. What?
Yeah, so it's still a grind, right? So I'll say I'll share you guys this. Slavery is freedom, and freedom is slavery. So when you first hear those words, you're like, what? You know, it's like you're talking circles there. It doesn't make any sense. So slavery is freedom. So when you enslave yourself to something that you want in your heart, then you can be free. But when you're enslaved to something that's not in your heart, then there's no freedom there, right? And vice versa. Freedom is slavery. The freedom is giving yourself to slavery, but the slavery that you choose,
Right.
not the slavery that someone else chooses.
Right, because we all have to do something, right? Everybody's
You're all gonna grind. You're all gonna be here 80 years, 90 years, and you all gotta get up in the morning. But what do you get up for? Do you get up for the boss, or you get up for yourself? Do you get up for the paycheck, or do you get up for your mission? And so you're gonna enslave yourself one way or another. But I hope you enslave yourself to something that you see a passion in, not something that you have to do. And that's the big difference.
No, that's beautiful.
You see why we love this guy so much, kids? You see why I call him the Traminator? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, Dan, I'm curious, buddy. You're down there in the corner just kind of being patient, minding your own business and listening in to this value. Do you have anything that you'd like to ask of your good buddy, Sam?
Well, you know, if I was somebody on this call and I didn't know Sam, I can think of 120 questions, but I don't know if you know, but me and Sam have the kind of relationship where we're together a couple days a week, and we kind of excel together, and Sam's got some amazing things that he brings to the table, and hopefully I'm not speaking of myself, but I bring some things to the table and help Sam out, and we work very, very well together and very close together. So the only thing I'm going to say to Sam is, why wasn't I told about Hawaii?
The what? The what?
No, why wasn't I told about Hawaii? But I'm just kidding. But no, I love Sam, and Sam brings so much value to Enagic. And, you know, and as far as your platform here, JJ, I mean, you know, getting guys like him on and really I would like to help, and I'm sure Sam will too, support and turn this into something that can be beneficial, because everybody in Enagic brings something else to the table, but it's all of us collectively together that are creating this wave that we're all going to ultimately end up riding. So, you know, I don't have to say a lot to Sam. He knows exactly how I feel about him. Me and him, you know, help each other all the time. And, you know, I hope he has a blessed trip. Nobody deserves it more. And, you know, I'll see him when he gets home.
Thanks, buddy.
So I'm curious, Dan, you know, you just mentioned at the very beginning of that if you were somebody who didn't know Sam, that you would have, you know, a couple hundred questions for him. Any chance you might elaborate on one of them?
Well, I mean, you know, and you guys kind of have, I mean, because, you know, and we'll talk tomorrow. By the way, Sam, I don't think you're going to hear me on here tomorrow. It'll be about 3 a.m. where you're at. So, you know, I get it. But the thing is, you know, you've kind of touched on it, but, you know, why does somebody like that who seemingly has the American dream, you know, transfer over and end up where we do? And, you know, there's a lot of people out here who aren't making six figures, who aren't working for a Fortune 500 company, who don't have the house in suburbia. And, you know, that's a big jump, man. And I don't care who you are or what you're going through. That's a big leap of faith, you know, and Sam took one. And so obviously the thing of, God, how did that feel? You know, was there that moment, you know, was that moment where you got a phone call from your mom going, are you out of your mind? I mean, it's just, there's a lot of things, but I'm really, really very familiar with Sam's story. And like I said, you guys have kind of touched on that, and he's expounded on that. But, you know, when you see high quality individuals like Sam making the transformation from corporate America to our project here, you know, I always have 100 questions. But you know what? I'm really beginning to understand for myself why Enagic is attracting the kind of talent that they are and bringing the kind of quality character people that they do, because the vessel is that good. It's like Sam said, I mean, he probably gets approached 20 times a month to do something else. I get the same. And people need to understand the other places come and fish from the Enagic pool because it is a high quality pool.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, I think we're all given the same opportunity, right? We're all given the life. We're all given the 24 hours, and yes, you know, that I had you know, I have things that are available to me that gives me access, right? But I was on food stamps when I first came to America. I remember getting the block cheese, the government cheese.
Oh, it's so good though.
4-pound, 5-pound block of cheese, and I remember getting those food stamp booklets. You know, the $1, $5, and $10 food stamp booklets, and you had to tear those coupons out to pay for your groceries. And so I remember getting reduced lunch and free lunch in elementary school. You know, so you got to qualify for those things. But you know, here's my mentality. I still have an immigrant mentality. I'm going to make it or I'm going to die trying. Right? And so there is no one in this world that's going to keep me down. And so I think this dream of the American life is at some point beaten out of us because we fall in line, right? We go to school, we
good girls.
You know, yeah, we go to school, we raise our hands, we followed the line, right? Well, I followed that line to a T.
Yeah.
I followed that line to a T, and then I get into my career 23 years later, I'm hating it. Like, what the hell's wrong here? Like, I followed the recipe. Like, I did everything according to the book. And I still
Are you the oldest?
No, I'm the middle child. My oldest brother is a dentist. There's 5 kids total. And my next older brother, he's a president at a pharmaceutical research company. And then me, I used to be a scientist. And my younger sister, she's in pharmaceutical research. And my younger brother, he was into computer science, but now he's helping people with wealth management.
Nice.
So there's 5 kids, and we all went to college. But a lot of us now are trying to, you know, we're recognizing the game here that we've been building for other people. And so we're hard workers. But I'm of the mindset that I want to build hard for my family. I want to build for my generations, not necessarily the generations of the people who own the companies. Right.
So I've got another question for you, Sam, that I'd love to have you expand upon a little bit, if you wouldn't mind. You know, you went from that 9 to 5 grind, doing something that wasn't fulfilling you. And now you're, you know, you're here, you're there, you're everywhere, you're doing all kinds of stuff. So can you elaborate a little bit on the difference that makes in your everyday life, and you know, maybe kind of see if you can come from the standpoint of somebody who is maybe considering this idea, considering maybe doing the similar thing to what you've done. What, you know, what kind of advice would you have for those people? And what, you know, because that's the thing, is you're in paradise right now, and instead of being stuck in the laboratory looking at blood samples,
Yeah.
what, you know, what has that really done for your thought process, your health, your anxiety, whatever? You know, expand a little bit on that. Has it?
Yeah, so you know, we have to. I have transitioned to this thinking where I'm thinking about the why, not the what. Why am I doing this, as opposed to what am I doing? You know, because a lot of my friends are still stuck in what they're doing, and they're not doing it for why.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going through the motions, and they're doing it, and then they equate a big why to it, but there's an emptiness that's going to creep in, and that emptiness creeped in on me, and it creeped in on a very lucrative and very rewarding career, and it still crept in. And so you have a lot of doctors and nurses and engineers now that are questioning their why. Right? The money's not good enough, because, you know, I have friends that are doctors and they're burned out. Nurses that are burned out because they went into it. Help, you know, with this idea of helping change the world and change people, but somehow the moral injury happened. You know, so they get injured somehow. Their morality or something happened. I don't know what it was that got injured, but they're falling out of love with what they do. So, you know, I do this for the why. I don't do it for the what. I don't do it for the how. You know, I do it primarily for the why. And my why is I want to build a legacy, and I want to build something and leave it for my children. And I think that's what needs to be addressed, and that, you know, that's what we're doing. Like, you know, my wife, we're on vacation, and she asked me, not this time, but she asked me the last time. She asked me, "Hey, can you turn it off? Can you turn off the KONGen Sam thing? Can you turn it off?" And because we're on vacation, I said, "You think this is a thing I'm doing? You think this is a what or how I'm doing it? This is who I am. This is me. This isn't me putting on a front. You know, this isn't fake it till you make it. You know, this is what I am. And if you don't believe in what I am, then we got some deep discussions to talk about."
Yeah. Yeah. That goes back to the old saying, right? That if you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
You know, it's like what you're doing right now. You're not working. You're having fun. You're enjoying yourself. You're, you know, yammering about what you love. And so there's a big difference between that, where if you,
you know, and it's still a grind, right? It's still a grind. Like I went to a meeting with my team members last night, and we didn't have any guests, right? But then I still did the compensation plan. I helped him figure out his why, right? And it's still productive. But there are times that challenge you, right? And so I got bugs flying around me. There are times that would challenge you, but if you get stuck with those challenges, then you're still in the what, and you're still in the how. And if you're not living in the why, then you might get tossed off this ride.
right.
Well, you might get weeded out. And so I have such a strong why here because I've seen scientifically what this thing has done. I've seen the checks, the financially what this has done. And morally and you know, for passion and vision inside my heart here, I've seen that too. This isn't something that I'm doing. This is who I am.
Yeah. It's something you're living versus
something I'm living. And so, you know, I'm not gonna quit this. Like I wrote about this the other day. Like I have friends that like you know, say, hey, I just bought it, I just moved and I just started a new job. Well, they do that every 18 months. You know, and just, oh, congratulations on the new job, right?
Right.
I'm like, dude, this isn't a job I'm doing. If you think this is a job I'm doing, then you're in it for a big surprise. This is my life I'm doing. This isn't a job. You quit jobs. You don't quit your life. That's why it says change your water, change your life. It doesn't say change your water, change your job.
Oh man, I love that, Sam. You know, I can't tell you how much I love you, buddy. It's just crazy. You have so much profound, awesome stuff that really resonates in the old brain cell and gets me thinking. And that's the greatest thing, because one of my main goals is to learn something new every day. I'm trying every single day to learn, and so much of my learning has come since I jumped on board the Kong train. You know, got involved with this massive, incredible family of people who all seem to have pretty much the same goal in mind, and it's just incredible to hear some of the things that you come up with. It's like, wow, no doubt. I never even thought about it that way. And so, yeah, I've learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to learning more and more and more and more as we continue on this journey. And, you know, as you can probably see, our good buddy Julio jumped in here. We've got Dr. Julio, or is it Sergeant Julio? Which one is it, buddy? So I'm glad to see you in here, boy. It's good to see that big old smile. And I was wondering if you popped in here because you had something that you wanted to ask Sam, or something.
Look, I popped in here. Number one, it's the Kong Show. I catch it as often as I can catch it. Number one, but number two, I mean, you have my mate here. Sam has taught me so much, and I've learned so much just from following him, from the things that he's doing already. You know, JJ, just you know, I show you love as much as anybody else, JJ, and you know that. You know how I feel about you. I love the fact that the relationships we're building, and you know, you say it all the time, and you say it serious, but in a joking manner at the same time, so people can feel your sincerity. You know, we only want to change the world. That's it. We only want to change people's lives. You know, and it starts one person at a time. That's it. It's not complicated though. It's a very simple goal. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you're looking at it from, hey, I'm speaking to the masses, that'll be great, but the masses aren't going to jump on board. They're not going to be, you know, not everybody's going to believe on what we're selling, and all we're selling is the truth. That's it. You know, because we're giving people reality and we're giving them the truth about what we have, you know, whether they look at it from a scientific perspective or just from a health perspective, from, you know, right and wrong, from what you're feeling, what you're seeing, you know what I'm saying, our basic senses, you know, in our eyes, our hands, you know, all of those things, and how they play into the water, how they play into health, you know, in our everyday. I mean, it doesn't matter any way you look at it. It's not complicated. It's really, really simple. We just want to change people's lives. But, you know, Sam is an awesome man, and he doesn't mind people boasting about him, but he just wants to see people succeed. And an individual like that, yeah. How could you not follow a person like that who doesn't, you know, who is not selfish at all, but is so selfless in his everyday acts? You know, I've seen what he just said to be true, you know, and it's not something you could turn on and turn off. That's something that I've recently been dealing with, you know, with Roxana and whatnot. She's kind of just like, you know, you're always working, you're always adamant, you're always, and I'm just like, you know, and I'll tell her the exact same thing. I just want to change the world, you know, whether I'm doing it one person at a time, one conversation at a time, one cup of water at a time, whatever the case is. You know, and she's just like, well, I kind of got that same feedback the other day, Sam. Can you turn it off? And we weren't anywhere special. You know, we were just at home spending some quality time. And I go, well, I'll put my cell phone down, no problem, because you're my number one priority. You know, my family is my first ministry. That's my first objective, you know, to love on my family and be there. If not for that, then why else are we doing all of this? You know, given we want to affect the masses, but, you know, that's the direct connection, our family, our loved ones, those who were always around. You know, and I had to tell her too, like, I'm sorry, I can't turn this off, you know, because it's become a part of me and who I am, you know, and it's now become a part of my DNA and my identity. And I want to give people that greatness. I want to share this with the world, you know, and she's just like, you always speak with so much emphasis. I'm like, do you not feel? I said, I don't just want people to hear me, but I want them to feel the passion and why I'm sold out for this business. And I don't even look at it like, hey, this is a business. I look at it as this is something that is going to help me live a lot longer, help me have a better quality of life. And I want to give that to the world. I want to give that to anybody and everybody who's listening, because I mean, we can get into the conversation about the system or the medical industry, or, you know, the wells go so many deep. There's so many different avenues. And I've learned a part of that from Sam, that you can spearhead this, you know, from, you know, and so many different angles you can approach an individual with, you know, and approaching it to them, you know, but just learning so much daily. So, you know, just to have an opportunity to jump on board with you guys and conversate and just chop it up. I mean, I love that. I live for the moments, you know, just to have a small conversation with you all, because you guys make me a better version of myself. You sharpen me, you know, not just Sam, but JJ, you too, man. You know, you sharpen me daily, man. When we discuss business on the weekends and not the whole morning motivation thing, you know, you definitely sharpen me every single day. And I take the things that you say with a grain of salt, and I go, okay, I need to write that down. I need to know this. You know, you guys give me some tools in life, not just in my business. So hats off to you if I had a hat on.
Well, Julio, thank you so much. You know, I think when we work on something big, we want to link arms with like-minded people, right? And sometimes you find yourself kind of lonely on the world out there, because not everyone believes in the same dream, and not everyone has such a big is living such a passionate life, or has so much passion for what they're doing. So when you do find people that are your KONGen family, or your mission family, you know, you feel like, wow, this is like two unicorns meeting or something like that, you know. And
Right.
it's pretty amazing. And so you need to be you know, because it can, you know, during the journey, it can get lonely, because you're going to be challenged by friends and family. You're going to be challenged by loved ones. You're going to be challenged by your colleagues, questioning what the hell you're doing, because to them, you're going to be the oddball guy. You know, I've had so many friends like question me, like, what the hell am I doing with this stupid water thing? Why don't you come back to science and make real money? You know, when you get a real job. I've had friends and family say, when you get a real job. I said, well, hey, I'm doing this and you do that, so you enjoy your job. I'll enjoy my life. Right? And so when it comes, you know, I wanted to touch base on this, because there's a certain mentality that you have to have. Right? My mentality is, I'm going to make it or I'm going to die trying. And you know, I push. But it comes from a place of abundance, not comes from a place of shortage. Okay, I've been given this whole life to go create. That's abundance. You have the rest of your life to create your life. That's time is everything. So you have this ability to go create and go design it. Now, the only thing that you can't do is literally change the world. But you can change the world in here, and that seed, and you can plant that seed in other people's minds that they can change their world. And maybe 1,000 of us are going to get together and change this world together. Maybe 1 million people are going to get together and change the world, because thought is where it all.
Having a little signal issue.
There you go. Now you're back.
Yeah, I started to think for myself as opposed to listen to other people.
Yes.
So that's where we have to master. We have to master our mentality. And so I tell people this. You literally have to go out and premeditate the murder of your ego. Right?
Damn, like Son of Sam, just serial killer.
Yeah, seriously.
I love that, by the way. I love that right there. You see what I'm saying? Like we couldn't make this stuff up. This guy is coming raw and full effect, man. You know, kill that ego, baby, because it ain't gonna get you nowhere.
The Traminator, baby.
So So I'm not a published author. I'm not a Nobel laureate winner or anything. I'm just a regular dude who came over here and worked in the system and decided to leave the system. I'm a nobody, right? And so when someone says someone to me, they're saying it to a nobody. What does it matter to me? So someone says no, what does it matter to me? I'm a nobody. They know all you want. I'm still doing it because I'm a nobody.
Still doing that water thing?
Yeah. I'm encouraged by my faith, and I use that to apply to this exact same concept where I've been saying that a lot. Now I know that I'm somebody, so I don't say that, hey, I'm nobody, but because I'm still new, because I'm still learning, and then of course the perception of who I am and what I'm doing, people are gonna look at it no matter what. But I look at it from the standpoint as to, if one person created change in 12, and those 12 impacted the entire world.
Exactly.
Today, we're still talking about those aspects of faith. There's a book that proves such things.
Yeah.
If that's what one person can do, then what can I do? What can my peers do? If we collectively gather together, if we say, hey, let's team up on this, let's be brothers and sisters in this, let's join arms and let's educate the world. Let's teach the world what we have. Let's let them know the importance of what we have and why it's important, If we can do that, so that's where I come in and I say, my faith is applied to everything that I do. And it's no longer, hey, this is a job, or hey, this is, I'm selling water or whatever. No, this has become a part of my DNA. I'm in this thing. I'm sold out for this thing, and I can't get enough of it.
Yeah. So that phrase I said, that I'm a nobody. So I have to preface that because the smallest things make the biggest things. I'm absolutely nobody. And because I'm smaller than a molecule, smaller than an atom, I make up everything. I'm a part of everything. And so within my smallness is my bigness, right? Because the universe is created out of the smallest things. And so I approach life as, I'm a nobody. So I just walk in, I'm just a regular dude. But there ain't no stopping me, so because I'm a part of everything, and what I believe in is the truth. Water is life. People want to deny that. Hey man, knock yourself out. Go drink some more Red Bull.
You're right.
Drink some whatever. Like, knock yourself out. Because I'm putting my faith and my belief and my soul into something that stands the test of time.
We'll see how far those fake wings get them.
Yeah. But it's a blessing. This is a complete blessing to be here and to I'm just a kid who was born in Vietnam in 71, and I came over to the United States in 78. So 6.5, 7 years later, I got this second chance of life, and at 42, I got a second chance of life. Every day that we're born, every day that we wake up is a second chance at life. But most people don't realize that, right? They go through the grind. They go through the grind and they don't see
worry about tomorrow.
Yep.
What was that, Shawn?
Now they're dwelling too much in yesterday or worry too much about tomorrow, and they miss, the gift that is the present. Things like that.
Yes.
But that sounds like that's
too many people have the, hey, it's the same old crap, just a different day mentality.
Yep.
And I agree with Sam. I some days I hesitate in posting, hey, it's a new opportunity and it's a new day, because it's repetitive. But in reality, I always still post that in the morning time, or that's my intro to how I'm posting stuff, because every day we're given a new opportunity. So if you're blessed with that, it's exactly what you have. You have a new opportunity to change somebody's life. You have a new opportunity to do something new, to make a turn. If things aren't working out the way you want to, great. Today they can change. Today they can change.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. But you got to be there mentally, right? You got to be there. You got to be there in spirit. You got to be there and be present. Be here now, and just realize what you have. And so, the thing that stopped me, because I'm analytical. I'm scientific, right? Shawn's got all his snow in the backyard. Back.
It's a beautiful day. You're right.
That's
It's getting hot in that house, so I'm coming out for some fresh air. Forgive me. But yeah, it is a glorious day. It's all, you're not, whether it's cold or it's hot, if you're not a happy person, you're going to complain about the heat. You're going to complain about the cold.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't care if it's 50 below, like what Julio's talking about. It's all the same process. You're thankful or you're not. You're grateful or you're not. You know, and you reflect that energy, you reflect that attitude by how you respond to things, and we were talking about the masses earlier. Again, I've learned I don't want to talk to the masses. I've tried to beat the masses over the head with this because they have diabetes, because they have cancer, because their gout won't go away, and that 6-pack of Miller Lite they drink every day mysteriously have a correlation to them. It's, getting rid of the masses. They've proven they don't want to listen. It's being like-minded people in this forum, this business, this just environment that we're creating. And I think it's something that a lot of people want. It's, and we're not even creating it. We're just utilizing it. But I think it's really going to help galvanize, that purpose. There's 480,000 of these machines in the country and 137 million census documented homes. It's not even half of 1% yet. And I've been doing it for 10 years. I've been blessed. I'm just really finally starting to gain some traction through stuff like this. I'm finding other cats like me out there. You guys are all shorter and better looking, but we can't have it all. So it's just good to be able to associate with, there you go, with people that we want to associate with. And this is exactly what we're doing, man. You might be in the sunny beaches of Hawaii, and I'm up here in sometimes it snows. We're grateful. We still have the same purpose. We same mission. We still want to be a different nature. Julio's down by the schoolyard, down in the basement, doing his.
Yeah. So it just, it's so we're about 8 o'clock, but I want to leave you guys with something here. What becomes of our problems if we have no self? Okay. So what becomes of our problems if we have no self? And the self that I'm talking about is the ego self, the one that second guesses, right? So I've lost myself. I've lost myself to something here that's bigger than me. And that's why I can do this. And that's why everyone can do this. But it takes you sacrificing yourself, your ego self.
That is so true.
And that's why there's some people that you come in here and I hope people don't fall in love with potential, because there's a lot of people that come in here and they're very analytical and they're doctors and whatnot, and you fall in love with their potential, but they can't check their ego at the door. And if you can't check your ego at the door, you're gonna be worried about what people think about you. Right? And how people think about you, how you think about yourself is going to cause you to go or not go. But I've lost that. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
So what becomes of your problems if you have no self?
I seen JJ grab a pen. I had to grab a pen also because that was so good, Sam, that I had to write it down. I'm going to flip that, chew it up, regurgitate it, chew it up again, regurgitate it again, and feed it to people who I know. That's some good, fruitful stuff right there, brother. I seen JJ grab a pen. I said, I got to grab a pen too and write this down.
Yeah. It's all good stuff. We're all just trying to make a way, right? And just start with the end in mind. And so you want to be happy. You want to design your life and go, just reverse engineer that life. Reverse engineer. Start with the end in mind. Whether it's highly effective people. So start with the end in mind. Find out what it is that you want, and just break it down. That's it.
That is so awesome, Sam, because remember one thing you said a while back, the first time we had you on here, you said the genius and simplicity.
Yeah.
And it is truly amazing how accurate that is. It's the simplest, the simplest little things that make the big giant differences in life. And I just love the way you go about things, the way you analyze. You have a really special way of doing it, and it's hard not to listen to. It's hard not to pay attention to, just because of how powerful it is. And once again, it's always the simplicity.
Yeah, we're a part of something that's far bigger than us, right? We're part of this life. We're part of this gift that Mr. Oshiro gave us, and so all we need to do is to help people understand what it is. And if they're not going to come along now, I hope they come along soon, because it's still going to be true 10,000 years from now.
Right.
It's not like I'm going to change my story in 6 months. It's not like I'm going to change my story in 10 years. I'm going to still be drinking this thing till the day I die, literally.
Yeah.
And so there's no, it's just a matter of just reaching people on their own time. And so I can't force someone to open their mind when they're not ready. They'll be ready someday, but I hope it doesn't take crisis or tragedy, because oftentimes in our society, that's what it takes these days. It takes crisis. It takes tragedy. It takes someone in your family to be diagnosed, or you to be diagnosed with something before you open your mind to prevention.
Right.
That's just reality.
Yes.
So, but go make your life. And so, yeah, it is tough for a lot of people, but you know what? That's what makes us stronger, is that tough stuff.
Yes.
If everything's given to us, we're going to be pretty soft people. Right. And so we have to be tough. We have to go and, we have to go endure things. And I look forward, if you can turn the challenge things in life into your fuel for growing, then guess what? You're going to be like endless fuel supply. Right. And so that's why I look at the toughest clients. I look at the toughest situations. Give me the toughest things, because that's what I'm going to use to build myself as fuel. Yes. Right. And so some people turn away from difficult things. No, I run towards it. I play with people better than me, because I want to get better. Right. So, but hopefully that was helpful, and then we'll keep on doing this, guys. You'll see me in another city somewhere soon.
Yeah, it's always helpful the information that you bring, and we're gonna. I mean, the philosophy, the simplicity, and the philosophy, and how you're going about this and how you look at this. Small praise report, Sam. I'm no longer 1A, sir. I'm 2A. So another notch on the belt, brother. Gonna keep moving.
That's what it's about.
And I believe in the next month or so, I think I'm gonna skip the whole 3A factor and just go ahead and jump on the 4A, because I got so many set up, man. I'm working this thing day in and day out. Like I said, it's a lifestyle. It's not like I don't quit. I ain't got no quit in me.
That's right. That's what it's about.
And
congratulations, brother.
Well, there you have it, kids. We've had the Traminator on the show today. He always has so much good stuff to offer. And to everybody that's out there watching this, or the people that are going to be seeing it as time goes by, because this is getting recorded, it is going to go up on the Kong Family or YouTube channel, and it's going to get shared out for everybody to share it all they want. Think about it. What is it that you want? Like Sam said, what do you want? What's your why? Don't worry about what's your why? What is it that you want? Maybe it is KONGen water, maybe it's not, but whatever it is, go out and get after it. That's what lifestyle is all about, right, Sam?
That's right. But I'm blessed to be a part of this mission of you guys, and look forward to keep sharing the message and helping people realize their dreams. That's what it's about.
Amen. And kids out there, you got to remember, the only way you can realize your dreams is if you know what they are. If you don't know what your dreams are, how the heck are you going to get them? How are you going to fulfill them? How are you don't really have a chance. So
I've asked so many people that question, Jay, in the last month and a half. Do you even know what your dreams are? And they go, well, I've never stopped to think about it before. It's like, how old are you? You're in your 30s and your 40s, and you've never stopped to think about that? You know, something to think about. I said, well, today's a great day. Here's a pen and paper. Why don't you write it out?
Yeah. So true.
I love it. Well, Sam, you know, I want to let you get back to your family and go have some fun on the beach. Go play around. Go enjoy the heck out of yourself there. You're in paradise. You might as well have some fun. And, you know, we all know that you're still going to be telling people about Kong. You probably got a pocket full of business cards in your swimming suit. And, you know, make sure that you keep sharing the word, brother, because it's life.
It's life.
It's life. It's our lives. It's what makes us up. And you know, when I first got involved with this, I wanted nothing to do with the business. And after I started to learn about it and feel it, it became something that I all of a sudden realized, this is it. This is what I need to do. I have to share this stuff. And like you said once before, when someone asks you if you're still doing that water thing, you say, well, are you still doing that breathing thing? You know? Yeah, I'm still breathing. I'm still sharing water. Why? Because it's life, and it's my life. And no, I'm not going to turn it off, because I'm one of the lucky people in the world. I don't have a job. I have life. And that's such a profound way of looking at things like that, Sam. And, you know, it's just such an incredible blessing to have you as part of the family, man. And just want you to have a ball over there. I want you to have safe travels getting back home. And we look forward to seeing more pictures and more videos of your little gymnasts running around, flipping and flying all over the beach. And that's going to be awesome. And
all right, so I will catch you guys. I will catch you guys in some city near you here pretty soon.
That sounds great.
The mission that I want.
Hey, I got to get you up to Missoula, man.
Yeah. Missoula, Montana, right?
Yeah, I got to get you up to Missoula. Yeah, only 8 hours east of you, boss. And we'll just make sure that it ain't snowing when we have you up here.
Yeah, we'll have to come and come during the summertime. Yeah, summertimes in the Northwest and Montana are great. So
yeah, we'll go float the river and we'll have a big shindig of it. We'll have a nice little blowout up here in Montana, getting people going. That's one flake.
That's huge. Oh
hey, right on. Thanks for joining us, man. Really happy to have you on here, and yeah, grateful for you all the way around, brother. Julio, JJ, yeah, you guys are beautiful, man. I appreciate what you do. I just like being able to share the same message and galvanize with cats like you to do what we do, man. So Godspeed to you boys, and make somebody around you better today. I got a boogie.
All right, thanks, guys. And Dan, I think Dan's still on here. So, but thanks, Dan, for joining us too, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thanks to all of you guys so much. Really appreciate it. And of course, we just want to change the world. And so, don't forget your hugs, kids. Don't forget your hug.
Okay. Aloha, guys.
Until next time, kids. We love you.
Okay, aloha.
Bye for now.
All right, bye-bye.